Hey, good morning, everybody. So, you're freaking awesome people that are joining me early. I appreciate it. What am I going to do? I'm going to start off with lessons. And I'm going to tell you what I look at each day to tell me what the market's going to do. So, the first thing I'm going to do, I left it on because everybody likes colors. But let's get into reality here. Let's get into reality. The reality of yesterday is the only trade I entered into is I shorted Deutsche Bank shares. I shorted 2,800 shares at $10.22. Did I trade any options? No. Why am I in such a good freaking mood? I'm in a great mood because I didn't force any trades yesterday. I didn't have to take a loss in anything. I didn't take the win yesterday, but yesterday's trading day was extremely narrow, and the volume was one of the lightest volume days in trading the entire year. So I was saying, okay, IVs don't make sense. Things are pretty expensive. I don't see a wide range of trading. I just didn't trade. And the great thing about it was this whole week's been like that. I took care of an ex of mine. Then I had to nurse her back to health. She's still not doing great. But that was 2 days into the week. Third day into the week, didn't find any openings. Fourth day, didn't find any openings. I have a fantastic week. And it's not because I have not that many losses or anything to that extent. It's because I haven't forced myself to trade. If I don't see a great A plus trade, then boom, I'm on the sidelines waiting. I'm waiting for that spike that I don't believe on light volume or the dip on light volume. So here's the interesting news from this morning. We were waiting for PCE numbers to drop at 8:30. I'm sure they dropped in the interim, but the Eurozone CPI year over year came back at 6.9. It was forecast at 7.1, and its previous was 8.5, meaning Eurozone CPI coming down. So if I want to look at what happened in the markets since 8:30, because it's 8:31, we'll see what the markets did just really quickly. Yeah, extremely bullish, not a fucking shock. Shot up right at 8:30. Why? Because the markets have been extremely bullish lately. If we go back to a 1 month chart, what you see is you see outflow, 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 yet we're going higher. So we're going higher on light volume. Now, what does that mean? It means you can take two strategies. A, you can employ momentum saying, I don't care if it's light volume or heavy volume. I see momentum. Momentum is going to push us higher. The numbers that I spoke about yesterday on the SPY, 407, they're going to be in play today. Okay, that's one scenario. The next scenario is, shit, I don't believe it. I'm taking a longer term position. I'm holding my stocks, appreciating the gains. I'm selling covered calls. If the stock goes higher, it's okay. I'm making the premium. That's another way to make money. If you're a more simplistic trader, you only have $100, $1,000. You're not selling covered calls. You're not even buying expensive options. Best thing to do, wait. Let the pattern of the day develop. Now, yesterday, I mentioned Carvana was spiking. I mentioned it to the Discord. Carvana was spiking close to $9. I was trying to get some Carvana puts, meaning I thought Carvana would pull back and fade that rally. Now, I put in a very cheap price and I waited. Even when Carvana was spiking, I wasn't getting my contracts bought. I was $1 away. I thought I had the bid out there. Nobody was selling to me. Guess what? It's okay because it wasn't a losing position. I was waiting for proper entry. So again, anybody that's tuning in early, and I see we have a lot of eyes this morning, please understand proper entry, proper strategy. That's the way to invest. You don't have proper entry. You don't see what's developing today. Great. You don't know whether the market's going higher or lower or where it might peak out at. It's okay to step back and not to trade. Best thing about it, because I've been gung ho to trade, but here's what I see in the markets. Again, such light volume for now 4 straight days. I'm assuming that people are waiting on PCE, but we're in a ghost zone. So I mentioned it the other day, nothing goes straight up. The fact that the market is just skyrocketing this morning, yes, I will be prepared. So what are we going to talk about on the SPY today and what kind of ranges? So the SPY is sitting at 405 pre-market. Let's talk about the ranges that I wrote down this morning. So on the top side, I expected us to go to 407.21. Dark pool level, 407.21. Just under that, 406.40. So again, we're coming upon 406.40 pre-market. We're a 405 and change. We're up probably 0.6% in the SPY. The next level of support should be 404.14, which we saw the other day was the high. That rejection could easily turn to support. So again, the fact that the market is sitting at 405 and change, and let's tell you exactly where it's sitting right now, 405.20. I'm going to look for a pullback. I'm going to look for 404.20. That is going to be my focus this morning. If we drop under 404.20, where are we going back to? 402.50. Okay. Now I say that so casually, 402.50. However, let's remember 402.50 was the highest point we saw all of last week, and we only saw it for like a millisecond of the day. We went up to 402.49. We rejected. Then we saw 400, which was acting as resistance all of last week. But yesterday we were sitting right around 404. hovering there before we drop a point, go up a point. Again, very narrow day yesterday. Didn't see the price action that made me excited about trading. So again, the ranges I'm looking for, I'm just going to make it very simple. On the downside, 402.50. If 402.50 breaks support, we're going right back to 400. Would that surprise me? No, because yesterday's volume was so light that I almost wipe it clean. Now, it's the same thing if you get a sports team and they're playing all their substitutes and they still win the game. It still counts as an official day. It still counts as official move in certain stocks that went up 7%, 6%, 5%, what have you. Okay. All right. So let's get out. What else are we saying today? We could talk about Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit. It has ceased its operations and fired 90% of its employees. So people that are out there looking at penny stocks for VORB, I would probably stand clear of this one. Remember, it went public via SPAC at a valuation of $3.7 billion. I could not tell you what it's worth this morning, but I could tell you earlier this year when they shot their rocket up, their rocket crashed kind of just like the stock did. Okay, interesting point. After hours yesterday, and I heard some people were going to be wearisome of tech today, of big tech. So I'm going to be watching Apple. There was a huge dark pool order. How do I know this? Well, I use our Discord. What do you mean our Discord? Well, shit, it's right here. Here's Discord. There you go. These are the top flows. I'm going to get into top flows shortly. But what did I see? I saw on Apple after the market had closed, right? So after hours, I saw a huge dark pool level at $162.36. So that's key for me on Apple. I'm going to be watching that. And someone could say, yeah, but Apple's up pre-market because the market's up. And I'm sure Apple's up. I don't have it on my phone, nor do I have it on my computer right now. But if the SPY is up 0.5%, I've got to assume Apple's up, 0.5% as well. So again, I'm watching 162.36. If I see us break under that by 40 cents, 30, 40 cents, I'm going to buy Apple puts. I'm not afraid to anymore. Apple's got me 3 times versus 0. So again, I need to make sure I'm sure I've got my inflection point, right? For 162.36. I've got my strategy. I think it's probably bearish on Apple, but we'll see. If I'm wrong and Apple explodes and that acts as support, then I'll know that purchase was a purchase indeed. It was someone aggressively buying Apple rather than someone selling Apple. Again, in this market, low volume, I'm going to assume it was somebody selling Apple. All right. Well, so with that said, that's not the lowest volume of the day. I already mentioned that. All right. So here's the confusion in the market. And this is why beginner, rookie, newer, novice traders should not worry. Here's our current market situation. I had to read this because I found this tweet extremely interesting. Okay. Stocks are up like the banking crisis is over, right? Stocks are skyrocketing. Regional banks are down like regulators forgot about the crisis. Okay. The VIX is up like stocks are down sharply. Gold is up like the Fed finally pivoted, which they didn't. Bonds are down like more rate hikes are coming. So gold being up is like there are going to be no more rate hikes. Bonds down, assuming more rate hikes. Oil prices are up like we didn't have a recession at all. And they're just mixed signals everywhere. So if you're struggling in this market, you're not alone. The market's getting pushed up on light volume. Makes me hesitant. It would be great to ride the wave higher this whole week. However, I'm more apprehensive. I'm more of a cautious trader. I like to be winning trader. Again, my wins come about 56% of the time, losses 44% of my sessions, wins averaging 72%, losses averaging 44%. Why have I repeated this for 3 straight days? Because I love numbers, and I had never I've journaled my trades before, but I never took the full account, like how many of my trades are winning, how many of my trades are losing, what's my average profit on my winning trade, what's my average profit on my losing trade. It helps you correct your flaws. I already know on my losing trades, when I'm losing 44% on my losing trades on average, that is way more than average. Other people are cutting their losses at like 20, 25%. My losing trades, sometimes I add more to them. So I know that is something that I have to be more cautious about. Do you know what you have to be more cautious about? If so, put it in the comments. Be like, yeah, I trade too damn early. That's another thing. I noticed trades that I make later in the day, even if they're for a longer period of time or shorter period of time, doesn't matter how long I'm in the trade. But trades that I make later in the day are more successful. Why? So I ask myself, why? Because I like to see patterns. And as the day plays out, I get to see more patterns. I get to see the inflection points in the market, where it found support, the volume levels, rather than guessing. Now, I like making predictions. Okay, intraday yesterday. Here are the largest option chains that were traded. You got the SPY, 41% in calls, 59% in puts. So that tells you what? 6-4 puts over calls. Qs, 61% puts, 39% calls. Same ratio, 6.1 over 3.9. Tesla, okay, that's more call heavy, 58% calls, 42% puts. The Russell, which are smaller cap stocks, 50-50. Amazon was bullish. Apple's like to break even. Now, Alibaba, we spoke about Alibaba when it was $95, then $97, and somebody came on yesterday and said Alibaba looks extremely bullish. Yeah, Alibaba spiked up to 104. However, I said I would rather play Baidu on the other side, buying puts on Baidu, because I don't believe the Alibaba pump, and I'd be extremely cautious of the Alibaba pump. Now, here's the thing. Until those heavy option players get out and sell their position and take profit, then Alibaba can continue to pump. I haven't seen what it's doing pre-market. And then NVIDIA, 44% calls, 56% puts. Again, I'm watching NVIDIA, AMD, Micron. Micron had a double miss. Top line, bottom line shot up 7% the day after earnings. Got me in shocks. All right, so what else we got going on? SPY levels, I mentioned the 402.50 level. Carvana was spiking, mentioned that one. Didn't get any of the Carvana trades. Had them on my watch list, right? So I had them on my watch list. What did I do? Well, one of the contracts was trading at $4. I put in a buy order at $2. Why? I don't want to pay $4. I wanted to pay $2. Same thing on the other contract. Now here's interesting. Dark pool level on the SPY, 395.66. I mentioned this yesterday. So if the SPY does proceed to drop under 400 at any time in the future, we saw it bounce hard off 392 last week. Guess what? 392 is no longer a possibility. If we are to drop, let's say we have a bad news out today, Monday, Tuesday, whenever, I'm looking for the SPY with bad news or bad sentiment or bad anything to drop to 395.66. That's where I believe new support line will be. And when I talk about new support, I talk about like heavy market support. We saw that at 392 when the market got forced down last week. So that was interesting. I mentioned yesterday how more countries are dealing with the Chinese currency, the yuan, Saudi Arabia, France, Russia, against Saudi Arabia, Brazil, US dollar, global reserves down to from 72% 20 years ago, now to 59%. So it's a 13% move. It's not like people are giving up on the US dollar, but again, I'm watching the US dollar. If the US dollar continues to dissipate and goes under 100, in fact, goes to like 97 and a half, understand the market's going to be hella bullish. You'll see the SPY sitting at 440 if the US dollar DXY goes to 97, something like that. This morning, the US dollar was sitting at 102.41, and it just dropped a little to 102.29. It's still up a little. But again, watching the US dollar, as the US dollar comes down, we're only at 102.29. If it's heading towards 100 or 97, the markets are going to continue hella bullish. Again, I don't agree with that shit. I think we're in recession, but I won't fight the trend. Again, looking at all my trades, what I'm looking for these days are not these longer drawn out trades like 2 weeks ago when I said Pinterest was going to go down and Pinterest spiked up to $12.50 before it dropped under $11, which I was correct. But again, that's a longer out trade. I'm more or less looking to call market direction. Now, when we talk about Discord, and I'll bring up Discord one more time, we have Romeo who does your trading, charting, using his orbs, using his candlesticks. Teaching is best, okay? He's teaching what? 3 mornings a week and 1 evening a week so that people can learn lessons, right? Then we have Love, who's actually a professor. So who's better to teach than a professor? I like to give market direction. I see things happening in the market. I don't necessarily agree with them, but I could easily tell you the market is going to go up here. It will reject. If it comes down, you're looking for support at these levels. It's great because if you're getting in calls, you want the market to come down. You want to know where support is, because if not, you catch the falling knife. So we put together this crew, including Carlos, whose I believe birthday is tomorrow. He's turning 98. 53. Sorry. The whole thing, he's the best at operations. He's the best about synchronizing everybody, so we're all on the same page. So when we bring Discord, it's for you guys to learn. Yeah, and other Discords, I'm sure you could join. They'd be like, hey, here's an alert. Buy this, sell this. I mean, they're not teaching you to fish. They're fishing for you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on Discord. What is the first thing I do in the morning? I want to look at the top flow, top bearish and bullish flow of options. Then I want to see where there might be some type of diversion, meaning the algorithms are up here and the stock price is down here. So I might look at, I don't really like NVIDIA. I've seen XOM run pretty good. Gold's run. So I might look at Ultra Beauty, which I actually thought should go down at some point in the future. I might look at UNH as a reversal trade. On the other side, I'm looking at Microsoft. I'm going to look at AMD. I'm going to stay away from the Russell because that was 50-50. I saw Tesla was more of 63-37. So I might look at that trade. Again, now look at the net flow of the market. So what does the net flow tell me? Well, the white indicates where the market's pricing at. So we saw the market with this kind of movement yesterday. In this level, they were buying. They were still pushing up towards the end of the day. Pricing on call options, extremely high premium. Pricing on puts going up. These could be a hedge against each other. So again, IVs both look a little expensive for me. The market is priced in pretty expensively right now. So again, light volume, yes, it can go higher, but I'd be more apprehensive about taking any type of bullish position after this latest market run. Now, the interesting thing is we crossed over the 200-day moving average on a lot. Now, if we look at the net flow for the SPY, you saw put pricing pumping. So the premiums on puts are pumping as the price of the SPY is going up. Now, what's even worse is, this morning, this stock price right here for the SPY is right now at 405, right? We're still up pre-market, 404.78. So we're still up 0.2 something percent, 0.28% pre-market. But again, they're telling you, hey, I'm buying puts. So what do I expect? Well, I expect the market to be sold off at open then. We spike up to 405, 405.50, and then we drop very quickly to 402.50. Why do I say 402.50? Because that's where I'm looking for support. Okay, so that's my strategy for today. I'm going to look at the dark pool levels. Boom, what do I see? Very light dark pool level here. So that's why off little volume, we've spiked way past that. Next level, 478. Okay, so that's increased. As we've gone up, that's moved up. We have a new dark pool level at 398.41. So I'm looking, what am I noticing the pattern? It's going by about $2. 480 cents, 398.41. That's $2.40. Another 240, another 230. Actually, 240 is pretty damn close, 237. So it moves every range. It's about $2.40. Why is that good for me? Even if I don't know anything about the market, if I see the market find support at any level, just make up a number today, Matt. Okay, market's going down, it finds support at 403. I see volume increasing and I see buying action at 403. I'm just making this up for an example. If I know that each level is about $2.40 and I see support at 403 exactly, I will add $2.40 to that. I'll say 405.40. So when we bounce off 403, I'll say the next level higher is 405.40. And when we get there, I'll sell my calls that I'm in. So I'll take the bounce, I'll get into calls, I'll sell. Same thing if you see rejection. Say we see rejection today at 405. You're like, oh, we rejected 405. We rejected 405. We rejected 405. You see it 3 times. It's in your bread, in your mind. What do you say to yourself? Next level down, $2.40 down. What can I do? We reject 405. That's the top. You say 240 down. That brings me to 402.60, right? Okay. Well, that'll be my selling of puts. If I'm getting in puts at 405 because I saw it reject 2 or 3 times, I'm going to say $2.40 down is my next level of support. And yes, we can break under it, but I'm talking about being a safer trader. If I'm investing instead of $1,000, $10,000, and I'm looking to make a quick score, a 30-minute score where I make $3,000, call myself a freaking winner today, because understanding I've traded large accounts. I've recently traded small accounts. I'm going to tell you, all of you traders that trade small accounts, $100, $150, $200, $500, it is freaking tough. It is tough not to spend all of your money. Oh, I bought one contract. Oh, it's down. Well, let me buy another one. I'm going to be right. Oh, let me buy another one. Oh, shit, I'm all in with my $200. What the hell do I do? I struggled with that with Snapchat earlier in the week. Went down 7% on Tuesday. I got stopped out on Monday. That account that I was looking to grow was back to 125. It's still up 25% from where I initiated the account. However, I was looking for it to be up 300, 400%. So again, it's not easy trading a smaller account. It's easier when you're trading a large account and you follow these people on Twitter that are saying, hey, I made 225,000 today. I made 42,000. I made 8,000. They have such support behind them where it's not like every single decision is going to impact their life. So I know a lot of you, especially that follow me, are trading with the last of your money. You followed other gurus. You followed people that have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to the stock market, and they're giving you stocks, and these stocks are dropping 90%. I won't mention any names, but they exist out there. I'm trying to tell you, hey, I'm not telling you what stock or option to buy. I can tell you what I'm playing, but I'm talking to you about strategy so that you know when the market's pushing higher and you want to be bullish, you can be bullish, but you wait for a drawback. You wait to find support. You wait for the IVs to come down. You don't trade between 9:30 and 10:30 in the morning because you know the IVs are heavily weighted, then because there's more volatility. As there's volatility, the IVs are going up because it means there's more market movement. So yeah, I would be extremely cautious there. I'm just going to see if anything major happened. The dollar stabilized. Let's just see where the markets are at right here. Then I'm going to talk about a couple stocks. Perhaps, okay, the SPY's only up 0.19%. Makes me feel so much better. I mean, this is the movement. At least we're back to this level. Okay, we're back at this level where we were trading before the PCE numbers were announced. Why? Because the PCE numbers really shouldn't impact the market unless they were extremely hot or extremely calm. They really shouldn't move the market. The Fed has its game plan. The market says the Fed's going to cut 4 times later this year. The Fed says, no, we're not. One of them is going to be right, either the Fed or the market. But you don't have to make a prediction of the market's definitely going to skyrocket today. Again, if 404 shows support, all right, here are the numbers of the SPY. Let's bring it up. Again, well, we don't need to bring it up. I'm good enough with this. Okay, 404.14. I mentioned that in the beginning of the video. 404.14. If that number shows support plus or minus 20 cents, then I know that could be support. We're going higher. 404 shows support, then we're going to hit 408 today, okay? If 404.14 breaks under and you see it at 403.62, then yeah, I'm still believing that we're going to hit 402.50 today. So again, I don't know if I'm getting into calls or puts, but I know I have strategy both ways. Again, call strategy is, okay, we see the market drop at open. I see the market drop at open. That's going to make me want to be bullish on day. I know it's a reversal. It's dropping, and I want to be bullish. Yes, because I've seen the buy the dip. Now, the other thing is I saw futures spike up, and then if the market spikes at open, then I'm going to be buying puts when I see the top. And when I see the top, I need to find rejection because we've seen the top go like this, hesitate, come down a little, and you're thinking buying puts there. No, because then it goes even higher. So that's why I sometimes, more times than not, like to wait till at least 10:50 a.m. to call market direction and decide which strategy I'm going to implement. Well, Matt, then you missed the whole ride up or you missed the whole ride down. Yeah, freak. Yesterday I said the market was going to 404, and then I said it would likely drop pretty quickly. Well, it got to 404.30, and then what? It dropped 2 points like that. So yeah, I was perfectly correct. However, I was perfectly happy that I was in 0 trades yesterday as far as options goes because risk versus reward. I've spoke about this before. Risk versus reward. If you're risking $100, you want your return potential to be 200, at least 2-to-1 ratio, okay? If your ratio is I'm going to risk 100, I hope to make 100, 1v1, well, that doesn't make sense, especially if you're trading around, 50, 55, 60%. If it's 2v1, either puts or calls, and your return is 2 versus 1, then shit, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, what else we got here? Let's see. We got some hand waving. That's nice. I guess people are using emojis. Good morning. Let's give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. Okay, Fredo jumped in 1 contract for next week. Okay, what's your strategy there, Fredo? Your strategy hopefully was I got in at $7.50. I'm looking for a spike back to $10. There's a good strategy. Now, if you bought on the way up when it was moving, let's just see where it is this morning. Where's Carvana? Thought I had it towards the top. Maybe I moved it towards the bottom now. Let's just see. Oh, there it is. Carvana up 12% yesterday. Yeah, I would be wary of this one. Yesterday's volume was good, but if today's an outflow day, then you're going to see $7.40. I might get into some puts. Again, my strategy on Carvana hasn't changed. I just saw they were building a new, what do they call those vending machines, I guess. That was pretty good. Yeah, hit like and support the channel if you want to follow us over to Discord. I'm not sure if Romeo is trading live today, but it is Friday, so I'm going to check that out for everybody right now and just tell you guys. Live chat. Nope, no one told me anything, so I don't know if he's going live today. B Finger does a great job in Discord. Yes, definitely. Here we go. 10:50 a.m. Okay, so you bought the $9 put. Yes. Okay, $9 put. I like the strategy. Does it mean that Carvana can't spike? Well, if the market spikes and rips from 404 to 408, bull case scenario, then you have to understand Carvana is going to go up to $10. So you have to understand what you're going to do in your mind. If you see an extremely bullish day, is it better to sell your put, take the loss, re-enter it when it pops to $10.10? Again, I would look back at Carvana. I remember it popped over $10 a couple of days ago. I think $10.14. So I'd be looking at that at the top side, 10.10, 10.14, 10.05. If it happens to go up, that's one of my strategies. If it happens to go down, you're just going to hold on to your position, but you have to know your exit strategy. So for me, my exit strategy on Carvana would be around $7.18, $7.23, somewhere in that light $7 range. Be my exit strategy. Goes out to next week. Okay. Still new to options, Nicholas. You're also a paper trader. Yes, paper trading is the best. And now here's why I say that, and I got so excited because I never ever paper traded, never ever paper traded. But here's what I did the other day. Robinhood has this feature where if I like something, I could add it to my watch list. Now I'm sure other services do, but it's so easy. I just click one button. So here's the thing. Normally, when I like an option position, I want to get into it right away. I have a bit of FOMO. So instead, I hit add to watch list right away. Then I know when I'm generally down 22% on a trade that I like and I have strategy behind, that is a perfect time to go a little heavier for me. So what do? As soon as I like it, I add it to the watch list. Boom. Then I look at the volume and I go do my other history and technicals on it. I'll go back to Discord. I'll look at the flow. I'll look at the net flow. I'll look at the algo flow, the flow sum to see how many contracts are open on the call side, the put side. And if it all matches with my strategy, then I go in, I wait for that position to be down 22%. I say to myself, I paid $1 for me to be down 22%. It would be right around what the $78 range, $77 range, something to that extent. So I'd say, okay, that's a great opportunity to buy. I'll buy 10 contracts at $77. If it gets hit, guess what? I just figured out that I'm down 22%. All right, what else we got here? Micron just dropped a lot pre-market. Again, on my watch list, I'm looking for all chip stocks to drop. Yeah, it just dropped 3%. Okay, yeah. And it was an outflow day after earnings. Again, earnings, I don't know. Earnings sucks. I don't know whether they're buying into earnings. So, yeah, would it make sense for it to go back to the $59 level? Yeah, but it's at $61.27. So, again, you've got to figure this out while it's going up. And I want to be short some of these chip companies. Obviously, maybe Micron beat me out. I would look at NVIDIA, which is leading the pack. So I'm going to look at NVIDIA real quick because, again, I happen to think at some point this year, and this year's a long time, we're at the end of March, from March 31st, so let's say April on, so that gives me 8 months. We're going to see NVIDIA back in the $235 range. The fact that NVIDIA is 275 or 273, closed at close to 274, and it spiked up this morning a little. I'm not saying it's happening instantaneously, but yeah, I totally think we're going to see 235 in the future, which means other stocks have to go down, which means other stocks are too highly priced right now. I mentioned PEs on the big tech where people like big institutions put their money. Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, right? The PE on big tech has jumped over the past 6 weeks, 40% higher. So if PEs on average, you add up Microsoft and Meta and Google and all them, let's say their PEs were like on average 17, 16.8, something like that. Well, now add 40% to that. 40%, 16, so you're talking about what? 1.6, 40%, another 6. They're probably at like 24, 25, 26 right now. It doesn't mean the stock price had to go up 40%. It means price over earnings went up, 40%. So the valuation on these companies are now from undervalued, in my opinion, overvalued. And I would definitely be skeptical to be playing Microsoft, Apple, Google, any of those. If you find an individual stock that's been beaten up and you like an individual stock, great. If you have reason for liking Meta, someone mentioned Meta. If you have a reason for liking Meta, you're like, yeah, I follow Meta like family. I know everything about Meta. The fact that they cut jobs, the fact that they're increasing this spending, the fact their advertising costs are going to go up. If you know Meta like family and you have a reason to believe Meta is going higher, then shit, invest it. But I'm just saying, I would be cautious of Meta, Apple, all those other stuff. What do you got? Check a $38 put for Pfizer expiring 428. Do $43 billion CGN acquisition. Okay, interesting. Yeah, stocks tend to struggle when it comes to acquisitions. We'll look at AMD after it popped off the acquisition. It dropped. That's when they acquired Xilinx. But let's take a look at Pfizer. PFE. I haven't looked at healthcare, and I know there could be a rotation. Volume's light. God, this stock just doesn't move enough for me. It doesn't move. Its range is so small. Good days, bad days, not even a full percent. So yeah, I mean, good luck to you there. I can't tell you more about that one. What do we got? Big tech stocks still averaging 50% down. Yeah, sure. They're averaging 50% down from their all-time highs. Let's remember some of the all-time highs. Upstart, right? Upstart was over $400 per share. Upstart's now $14 a share. So yeah, on average, they're down 50% because some companies are just getting ripped. I mean, the valuations, let's remember, PayPal was like $300. Square was like, what, $272. Coinbase was like $400. Yeah, so I mean, there's valuation at some level. I mean, we saw people pile into Coinbase at 54. Does Coinbase support its level of 64 all the way up to 81? Well, it's still a $14.8 billion company, and they still lose about $1 billion a quarter. So given the math there, they should be around for 5 more years, or they need more funding, or they need to improve their economics. But again, they were buying Coinbase as Bitcoin went up. However, I'm not a fan of Coinbase. I wouldn't short it, but I certainly went long it. And I know a lot of people that have made money both ways off Coinbase. All right, with that said, it is 9 o'clock. I'm heading over to Discord. Hopefully, Romeo will do some live trading. If you have more questions, you ask them in Trader Chat. I'm around all day. Again, lately, I've been on the sidelines. I'm looking to make a major move in this market. So if you're on Discord and you want to see what I'm going to do with the SPY, please, it'll be under Matt's trades. I've been anxious about making a trade for a couple days. I'm looking for a spike off silly volume that doesn't exist, knowing that it'll go back down. Or I'm looking for a dip, and then I'm looking to find support going, okay, well, they're going to buy up the market again because we've seen it for days on end. So I'm going to get that down low position today, and I'll go out till Monday. I don't have to put myself in that much jeopardy buying today's option, but that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to make a good trade because trading these smaller accounts is frustrating. 1, 2, 3 contracts. I'm looking to call market direction, which is what I do. Let it ride up to where I say it is. Get out, secure profit. I don't care if it's 18%. 18% of $20,000 is $3,600. So I'm looking to make some good money today. If you want to join me, follow me to Discord. If not, I'll see you guys on Monday. Please, thumbs up, share the video. Talk to you all.